Co-creating a world filled with positive possibilities while leading by example, My Power of One takes a stand for kindness. In The Wizard of One, Sue Vicory is joined by new guests in each episode to share inspiring stories and challenge the listener to continue transforming humanity one word and one act of kindness at a time. Be sure to stop by mypowerofone.com and join the movement at mypowerofone on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hello and welcome to The Wizard of One, a magical journey of kindness. We are brought to you by My Power of One and Heartland Films. My name is Sue Vicory, and I am joined today with Kenneth, Schulenburg, and Juliana, Ortiz. Did I pronounce both your names correctly, you guys? Did I do okay? I practiced a little bit. The owners of Cali Cream, which is located in San Diego, California, and happens to be my favorite ice cream in, I like to say, the universe, actually. And trust me, I've had ice cream in every state in the United States. So welcome, you guys. Thank you for being here. I know you have run a busy schedule, and I'm just so delighted to be in your presence.
Thanks for having us, Sue. We're excited too.
Good. I'd like to start with, just for my own curiosity, Kenneth, you know, I think you and I met a number of years ago when you were maybe just a couple of years into your store starting. Tell us a little bit about the beginnings of it. I know you explained to me, you know, why you started it and you know, some of your passion and motivation behind it. I'd love to hear the inception of the business back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. No, for me, making ice cream has been something I've done since I was probably around 4 years old. Something where I would spend the summers with my grandfather in Boston and Boxford, Massachusetts, and that's what we would do. I think he really did it a lot to try to keep us busy, but you know, when you're hand cranking ice cream back in the day with rock salt, I think he probably got more of a workout than we did. But that really kind of became a bonding thing for us, and something that we would do in the summers when the whole family would get together. From there, I guess it was just kind of a hobby at that point. Throughout the rest of my life, I've had the privilege, I guess, to be able to travel around the United States with various jobs and companies, working in, I guess, corporate America and retail. So I've moved about 22 times in my life. And my last place was in California, up in the Bay Area, where my territory for that particular job was San Diego and San Francisco. And with that, just fell in love with San Diego. So one day just didn't get on the plane and go home, quit and stayed down here and lived on the beach. And Julie and I had been together at that time as well too. And I think she got a little bored of me being at home. So she said, you know, you need to go do something, and looked at some different things. And she kept pushing towards, you know, why don't you just follow what you're passionate about or what you enjoy doing or what makes you happy. So we opened up the ice cream shop about 7 years ago, and it was really just it was supposed to be a hobby, just something to keep us out of trouble. And never in our wildest dreams did we ever anticipate that we would, you know, 7.5 years later, get recognized by a national travel magazine as the #1 ice cream shop in America. So it's been quite a journey, but you know, we started out. You know, just having fun. It was just me and, you know, I think at the time, you know, we sold everything, you know, retirement plan and cars and houses and furniture. And, you know, we put it all into the hobby, I guess you'd say. Maybe why would you do that with a hobby? But I don't know. It's like, why not? And, you know, Julie was working another job at the time, but then, you know, also spending, you know, basically full time at the shop as well too. And you know, the two of us it just kept getting more and more popular as time kept going on. And you know, and here we are today, I guess. That's really kind of what it is. It's just, you know, just meeting great people in our community and just listening to what people wanted, and you know, creating flavors all the time, and just you know, just I guess being a part of something in such an amazing community, I guess, is what's made it even more special than just it's gone beyond ice cream, I like to say a lot of times.
Yeah, you're both people. You like people, so you like to be in the presence of people. Last time I was in your store a couple of weeks ago, you had a lot of young employees, a lot of
Right.
summer help, probably college kids or whatever. So I understand that running a small business is a buttload of work.
Yeah,
There's lots of
yeah,
revolving doors and lots of decisions and insurance, all kinds of things to do. So you got to wear a lot of hats.
yeah, we do, and luckily, I think the great thing about Julie and I is that we like to do the opposite things. So Julie likes to handle a lot of the operations and kind of back of house stuff. I enjoy the ice cream, and I enjoy, spending a lot of time out, scooping ice cream and talking to people. So the two really work together well, where not only are they things that we like to do, but there are strengths. So when you have two people with opposite strengths in a small business like that, it's pretty incredible. And when you talk about the young people, yeah, we're very fortunate with our team. I like to say that the secret to our success is we've never hired any managers or any supervisors. So we hire talented young people. A lot of what we like to say are A personalities. So people that are self-motivated and or just need a little direction, and then they want to just kind of be their own boss. And we found that to be pretty successful. We've had anywhere from as low as probably 20 to 30 people in the beginning to we're going to be close to a staff of 75 to 100 this year. So, and we keep growing it on that same community kind of culture that we've created since day one. And we're very open and honest about that in our interview process with our team too, so that they know what they're getting themselves into. And it's been pretty amazing. One thing we don't do though, which is odd for an ice cream shop, is we don't hire for the summer. So one of our keys is success, and I think Julie can probably talk about this, but this was kind of, I think it's her idea from inception, but we look to really hire, juniors and seniors that are looking for, really their senior year, where they're looking to work for that entire senior year, or the second half of their junior year. And then they work that summer and then all their senior year. And then what we kind of do after that is we guarantee, as long as they do a great job, which is 99.9% of the time, we guarantee them a job on the summers. So actually our summer help that's coming back is always experienced, which is kind of a benefit and a plus for us. And, I think it helps the kids develop a lot of skills that, and I guess that's what we kind of look at as our community service, by teaching these kids the skills to be in front of people and to talk. And Julie jokes about this a lot with people, but they don't even really feel comfortable answering the telephone when we hire them, because they're so used to texting and all of that. So communication, even on the telephone, is a skill that we teach. So that's really kind of, I don't know, my part of it, but I don't know what you want to add, Jules.
No, I mean, yeah, it's definitely, I feel like we've built a community. Like, we still have a handful of kids from day one that started with us from the first day, still working with us. We have another group that have always stayed in touch with us. So I still get text messages from employees 7 years ago, and they're like, hey, congratulations on this and congrats on that. I passed by the shop where they look for us. It's definitely such a community that, we get people all the time that come in and they're like, my niece worked here, or my daughter, my granddaughter. And it's good to hear, because I think, we live in the community of Encinitas and Leucadia. And for us, it's like, it actually adds value. So it wasn't just about making money. It was about creating something that people would remember. Everybody remembers their first visit, or, their weekly visit or whatever, to getting ice cream with their grandparents or with their parents. And though my experience was more of a Rite Aid, but I still remember that, and I think that that's something we've always wanted to kind of recreate. People remember us, I'll have, like, we had this little kid, a fifth grader, wrote a story about us, and he was like, oh yeah, he's like, I remember growing up. And I'm like, you're still in fifth grade, you're still growing up. He's like, I've been coming to you guys for like 5 years, and it's like half of his life. Um, and he's like, I can't wait until like I can actually work so I can work there. And it's the most amazing thing. It's like we always say, we don't, we have our own kids ourselves, but it goes beyond that. We have like a community of kids that just come in and talk to us and know us by name, and um, you know, that we just see year after year, and it's amazing.
Yeah, just listening to your story, and obviously I'm in love with your ice cream, and know each of you a little bit, and have done some things with you. My family has a business that's now 124 years old, so this gives you something to look forward to. And my mom worked full time till she was 88, same desk, and so it is about creating a family, and then leaving a legacy behind, in your community. And so it's certainly my honor to know you and to meet you and to have worked with you both. I'm really curious about the process of making ice cream. And, we've made it here. Jay's father made it, cranked it when he grew up. Tell me about, you do that off site somewhere, I'm assuming, and you have like, I don't know how many flavors, 50 flavors or something. Tell me about the specifics and the logistics of supplying the ice cream. You change flavors in and out, and now you've got 2 stores that you're working with. Give me a little bit of the behind the scenes on that.
Yeah, so so we have the 2 shops. We have Encinitas, which is our original shop. That one we carry 55 flavors every day. The second shop that we have, which we've dubbed as our flagship shop in downtown San Diego on 5th and Market, that one has 70 flavors every day. So one of the things, we've done a few things different than a typical ice cream shop, in that we have both of our shops not only certified as retail ice cream shops, but they're also certified as manufacturing facilities. So we are full-blown California state regulated manufacturing facilities in both of them. Both have the equipment and all the technology inside of the shops to make ice cream. And that is actually what we do. So we do produce in both shops.
Is that in the back of the shop then? Or I haven't been to your downtown, only the one in Encinitas.
Right. So the one in Encinitas, yeah, what we've kind of done, which is unique as well too, so that people understand what we're doing, is we built glass rooms around the ice cream shops so that people can see that we're actually back there making the ice cream. Sometimes you'll go somewhere and they'll be like, oh yeah, we make it. And then it's like, well, where? And you can't really, do they or don't they? And you know what I mean? So we wanted to take that all away. Plus San Diego, being kind of the craft brewery capital of the world, it seemed like at one point, they're all built with glass rooms. So that was kind of part of our inspiration to stay, consistent with, kind of California craft brewers. But we do make it all in-house every day. And then, so one of the things that has come out of this is, since we do make it in, we're actually the oldest ice cream company in North County, a homemade ice cream company. And we're actually the 3rd oldest in all of San Diego County as far as ice cream manufacturing. So it's something that, even though we're about 7 years old, is pretty cool.
Is that one of your guys' phones?
Yeah, sorry about that.
All
right. So we've been doing that for a while. So one of the cool things that makes us even more separate than everybody else, it's kind of taking it to the next level, is we've partnered with a local dairy farm north of here. And we are on average 7 days or less from cow to comb. So the ice cream mix is, obviously taken from the cow, and then it's, pasteurized and through our systems and technology. We use real cane sugar in it, so we don't use a lot of whey fillers or corn syrups like all our competitors, or most of our competitors do. And then we bring it in, we have it shipped into the shop. And then from the shop, we take it and it goes straight into the machines. And then we're producing small batches, anywhere from 4 to 5 gallons at a time. We do our own hand throw-ins, our own ripples with sauces and stuff like that. So everything's done in-house. We have a lot of people that, when the kids start, they're like, oh, I want to be an ice cream maker. And we kind of have this rule, you have to be with us a minimum of 6 months, and we have to even know who your mother and father are. because it's such you know, a unique process that we want to make sure that
I see.
you know, everybody around us is, you know, giving out a quality product as well too. So, you know, that's kind of where it all starts, I guess, with the manufacturing piece of it. But
Have you
we
had
do,
have you had any issues at all in the last couple of years? Obviously, COVID changed a number of things for walk-in. Have you had issues with supplies or you know, getting what you need for your product?
so yes and no. There has been some stuff with our dairy farm, no, which is great. So we haven't had any issues with the mix or the cream itself. Julie and I, being that we were both in kind of the retail world, kind of saw where things were headed and early in the game, and we did change direction where we took a large sum of money, I guess, and we put it towards big buys. So we went out and bought 10,000 pounds of cookie dough or 20,000 pounds of chocolate chips or like key items that we use a lot of. We went out and bought like bulk order quantities of it, and then rented out some distribution space so that we can have them stored in freezers and refrigerators at distribution centers around the area, and then have them shipped in as we need them. So from a standpoint of being able to do the early buys, that kind of saved us on some money as we've been seeing a lot of our prices go up. I mean, just in the last 2-3 months, our cream's gone up almost 30-40%. And we've made the decision that at this point in time, we're not passing that cost on to our guest. We're going to try to eat it as much as we can, knowing that we did the pre-buys and we're able to save some money through other formats. So as long as, you know, this situation continues to be temporary, then we think we can, you know, we'll go back to some normalcy with pricing, and then the cream will come down and everything. But at this point, we've kind of decided that we'll eat the cost increase ourselves. But we were strategic, and
Yeah.
a lot of that was, you know, smart planning on Julie's part, from, you know, controlling our finances and making sure that, you know, I'm not off buying crazy new technology and stuff like that, but being smart about it.
Did you have
And
to
then,
close for a while?
no,
You
so
were
we
open the
were,
whole time?
Yeah, we were actually open the whole time. So we made the decision that we were going to stay open. At that time, we only had one location at the beginning. And then what we ended up doing is me and Ken ended up working like 90% of the hours that we were open. One is because we wanted to make it completely safe. So if someone wasn't comfortable working, they didn't have to work. You know, that we still secured their job. For those that wanted to go out and just have some type of normalcy outside of being home 24/7. I mean, we took all the steps to, you know, all the precautions to make sure everybody was safe. But you know, it was definitely a crazy time. So we also felt more comfortable being present at the store, because if there was any concerns of safety, then we could address them ourselves. And I think that was really valuable. You know, we had parents, we had kids crying to us saying, you know, thank God that you can give them just a little bit of normalcy, where, you know, kid can be a kid. You know, the great thing about our shop is it's all outdoors. So the beach is next to us. We have outdoor seating, so it was all open air. We made changes where we stopped doing things like samples, you know, just to protect everybody and to keep, you know, kind of the flow of the shop. But no, I mean, while it was a difficult time, we found ourselves having a lot of support from the community, and I think that was a great part of it. But it definitely, you know, it changed things. It, you know, it caused us to start a delivery business, which we never would have thought about. So we were delivering, you know, ice cream all throughout North County. So one aspect that actually was really quite interesting is we went from doing like 20 ice cream cakes a month pre-COVID, and then during COVID, it went from 20 to 200 a month. And at that time, it was just me doing them, because, you know, we weren't really doing many. So, you know, and that was the creative part that I like to do. And then it just grew and grew, and it's still growing. And because of that, now we are, this is what caused us to open up our bakery, because we can't keep up with demand. But it was interesting because I feel like COVID created a nostalgia for people of something that they wanted to do, something different, something special. And how much more special is when you can get a creative custom ice cream cake. We have customers that are like turning 1 year old to we're going to make a cake next week for somebody, an ice cream cake that's going to turn 100. And it's pretty amazing, the range.
It's very touching is what it is. And when I see your cakes on your social media, they look like they're created by an artist. Do either one of you consider yourself an artist at heart?
No.
Really? One of you's got to be. I don't know.
No. I think Ken on the ice cream side and me on the the decorating and the bakery side. It's funny because we create stuff that we don't see very often. The great thing about making our own ice cream on site is that he can create a flavor. We again, during COVID, we had people that would say, hey, it's my grandfather's birthday and I can't find this ice cream flavor. Can you create it for me? And we recreated it. And it was the most amazing thing because you can't find it anywhere. And then we ended up selling it in the shop. Or, I made an ice cream cake that was like delivered like 3 or 4 hours away, and we had to figure out things of like how to store it, how to decorate it, and it had aspects of like Chinese New Year, and so it was a very intricate cake. It was but it's we love doing it. We love creating. We love doing something that is not very typical. So I don't know if we can ourselves be artists, but I feel like
kind of.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, Julie, you probably are a closet artist, is what I'm going to say. If you create the cakes,
Yeah.
Your skills together, your sort of combined skills are where the magic wand is. And I'm assuming you're aware of that, your past experience with whatever your corporate work has been and just your personality blend and things like that. The magic wand, and I know you guys fairly well, but the magic wand sits between the connection of those two dots. And just listening to you talk about your community and the generations of people that you've had the honor of, being in their presence. One thing I'm curious about is that location that you have in Encinitas is ridiculously drop dead location. Have you been there from the beginning?
Yeah, well, it's funny because the building was built a few years before we took it over, and then there was a law office there, and then it actually sat empty for a year or two. And actually the building the space that we were in, it was actually 2 separate units with a wall in between it, with about, I don't know, 20 to 30 feet of just cast iron piping in that wall. So it's funny because it was actually on the last week where, we wanted to do the ice cream, but it was like getting hard to find like the right spot. And it was like the last week and we were about ready to say, you know what, maybe ice cream isn't really going to be the thing here. Maybe it's going to be something else. And I was driving home on the 101 and I saw the gentleman that bought the building throw a banner over the railing, and I was like, I'm gonna stop and just check this out. And then I went and I checked it out. It was 2 separate units. Only way it would have worked is by getting rid of that wall in between, which was a lot of skepticism as to whether or not that was going to be able to happen. Went home, told Julie about it. We rushed back over there that same day. We looked at it, and she looked at it, and she's like, yeah, this is it. Like, it was like just that magic button. She's like, you're going to have to figure it out, how to get that all, re-engineered so that we can open this space up and do what we want to do. But this is the spot. She could sense it and feel it. So yeah, so we took 20 feet of cast iron piping and stuffed it into a 4-foot wall. I mean, totally re-engineered the building because we have, condos above us. So
Right.
we had to take care of all the piping for that. And yeah, we just did that. And then even with the bakery, we ended up blowing out portions of the wall and removing piping so that we could add the bakery and have a flow through with the ice cream shop. But yeah, no, it is a great location. The funny parts about it, I guess I would say, is after it took us about 8 months to get it open and our first day, and we were all proud and excited and nervous and everything like that. The third person that walks in the door looks at me and says, "You know what? You won't make it past 30 days." So, I guess in a way I was kind of a little bit upset, but I think personally, I find drive and motivation when people say things can't be done. So I think that's always kind of stuck with me. Yeah, obviously, we're talking about it now, 7 years later, but yeah, it was quite interesting. And actually, the first person that walked into the shop, just by pure coincidence, actually graduated from the same high school I did back in Ohio. So it was like there was a lot of things going on that was like, just it was like, hey, wow, that's great. That's a crazy moment. And then the third person walking in making that comment. And then after that, it was like, but I mean, I guess to his defense, there were 8 yogurt shops around us at the time, and now there's one left. And there was no ice cream really being made in Northern California or northern San Diego. So it was new for people. So I guess I don't know, but
I guess you're telling me that you went to high school in Ohio. I did not know that, and that connects a lot of dots with the handles. You guys were under
yeah,
handles for a while, and when Jay and I drove to upstate New York, we stopped at handles on our way through Ohio. And Ohio they've got some good ice cream. From the Midwest, we know our dairy farms and we know ice cream. When Jay
yeah,
when Jay and I moved to San Diego in 2011, we got right on checking out the ice cream in San Diego. We Googled it, what's the best ice cream? We went down to, a number of different places, and we're like, no, no, not it, until it happened upon your place. And obviously I've been addicted ever since. So as you can see, I'm wearing passion today because, I'm passionate about ice cream and I adore you guys. So I love talking to you even more today just because you're giving me a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And I'm also an entrepreneur, so I understand how all of that works. But Julie, what would you say is your favorite part about serving ice cream? Well, I love bringing people in there and the samples that they can try, the taste and stuff like that. But what would you say is your favorite part? You guys have gotten married in the last year, so you're now man and wife, and congratulations on that. What would you say is your favorite part about just your commitment to the happiness of ice cream and the community and growing a business?
I think that my favorite part is I genuinely get a big smile when a little kid gets their first ice cream cone. So we do baby cones. And they try it for the first time, or even somebody just sees the size of our cones and little kids just start screaming in happiness and their face is like full of joy, and it brings like joy to everybody around them, and everybody wants to take a picture, everybody wants to see that smile. And I think one of the greatest things about owning an ice cream shop is, it's rare when you have anyone going into your ice cream shop angry, okay? Or if they do go and they're just having a really bad day, their goal is to get happy with the ice cream. But it's rare when you see somebody not happy, or most people come in groups and they're all laughing and just having a good time. It's like it's just this experience of going in and trying a million flavors, or seeing the number of flavors that we have. We carry 55 in one location, 70 in the other. And the amazement, it's like if they're going to Disneyland, right? And they're just seeing like some cool experience and they're going through it. And, there's so many times that people come in and they're bringing friends and family and they're like, you got to try this and you got to try that. Or, oh, this is crazy. Look at how many coolers there is. Or like, let me take you to the side where they're making the ice cream. It's just such an experience. I think that's kind of like my go-to. Like, I love it. Like, I feel like the energy that they carry, it just, I feel it myself, and then it makes my day. even if it gets crazy, I always tell people, hey, sorry for all the craziness, but that's what we like. We like the laughing. We like the fact that people were eating ice cream and dancing and singing. And weirdly enough, our playlist is really popular in our shop. And so sometimes you'll capture a time where everybody starts singing the same song at the same time. And it's like, I want to record it, but then I want to live in the moment too. So, it's so special.
And you guys had some quasi famous people pop in, out of LA, or have you had some surprises? I know Steve Perry lives in the area. He's a Del Mar guy. So have you had anybody that's totally, blown you away walking into your ice cream stores?
Yeah, we've had quite a few. I mean, we've had the Tony Hawks in the shop, and we've had J.K. Simmons in the shop. Simmons or Simons? I think it's
Simmons, I think, yeah.
Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been at the shop quite a few times.
We've had senators. We've had
Mitt Romney's been there before, and we've had other.
We had basketball players, like famous basketball players. We've had famous
Athletes, some of the athletes.
Yeah, and,
exactly.
No, it's pretty exciting. And it's, the kids are the ones that go crazy. I mean, we all kind of like, just fan out for a little bit, and they were like, okay, we want them to come back. So let's just calm ourselves down.
And there's even a lot of modern, like YouTube stars and, and big influencers that I mean, I don't really know, but the kids seem to know. And it's pretty crazy when you see kind of celebrities that are in their generation versus who maybe we recognize as celebrities out there in the world of the universe. So it's we actually, even in our downtown location, we were hanging out outside and we ran into the president of Mexico.
The ex-president
of Mexico. So
that was so random.
Yeah, so it's I mean, it's pretty cool. And then we've had words gotten out about us, and we've actually had high profile people have us go up to LA and in Hollywood and do events at their houses. And we've been out to Palm Springs and to do events out there as well too for people. So it's actually really, it's crazy. Cali Cream is words getting out in different parts of California.
So, and you guys expanded to the bakery just this spring. So you've got your bakery space, and I know you've been working on it for a while. Last time I was there, I saw your bakery space was open. Any other thoughts about expansion, or do you just take it one day at a time, or do you have sort of a plan for past this year, shall I say?
Yeah, I think, we do have a 5-year plan. We are looking to expand. I think just being Julie and I right now, I think what we're trying to build right now is the infrastructure. So for example, things that would become real popular for us are like brownie sundaes, which is, something we now manufacture out of the bakery, or ice cream cookie sandwiches. We now manufacture that. So we're trying to build a lot of our foundation before we go to the next shop. But what I always tell people is we don't feel like we ever have to go anywhere, but we'll go somewhere if the opportunity is right and the location is right. And we're I guess maybe blessed in that sense. But the opportunity, we do want to grow. We do want to create opportunity, not only for us, but for our kids that work for us as well too. I know a lot of them would like to grow and do more with us. So, we'd like to have more opportunity or more shops for that to happen. We do have a lot of people that reach out to us, even some city councils that have reached out to us, that have seen the value we've added to Encinitas and to downtown, and want us to bring that kind of vibe and energy and to their communities as well too. And it's just, I don't know, it's finding the right space, I guess.
That's true. And then knowing, and it sounds like Julie is good at that, is sort of dialing into the instinct and then just pulling the trigger on it. You guys do a certain amount of charity events, or you have a kind of a give back, full circle expression with your with your business. Talk a little bit. It seems like I saw you did one recently with a church or with your ice cream sandwiches or.
So that one was actually that wasn't a charity one. The last one we did was Scoop San Diego. So Scoop San Diego happens. I think this was their third year we've been with them. And what they do is they do an ice cream festival for the community of San Diego, and the proceeds go to whatever charity they pick for the year. And so we've participated in it. We give
Since day one.
yeah, we've given out tons of free ice cream as part of the event. We've partnered up with different schools. We've partnered up with different organizations. So for us, the goal has to be very community related. So it has to be a smaller organization, something that adds value. And so for us, you know, especially because we hire a lot of teenagers, we try to partner up with organizations that are going to give back to, you know, for scholarships.
We did the partnerships with the YMCA. We have done the Humane Society, the Rancho Santa
Right.
Fe Humane Society. They do a big fundraiser every year, and we participate in that as well too. But it's, yeah, I think it's like Julie said, schools for the most part, things that affect young people. And because we give away so many doggy cones, we obviously want to support the Humane Society as well too locally. But those are really kind of our big give back areas. I guess the biggest organization would probably be the YMCA here, the Eki YMCA. They're great people. Spending time with them and all the values, strong values that they have in the community as well too, has been great. But yeah.
Ken, is there any advice that you would give, say, a startup or a new entrepreneur that's got a vision, or, you know, no matter what their passion is there any tips you would give somebody for making it their dream a reality?
Yeah, for me, I guess I say it's grit. You know, it's just you have to, whatever plan you have, realize that plan's not going to work, and be able to change direction. I think that's what we really learned through COVID, especially with a lot of seasoned businesses that weren't able to make it. I think just a lot of people just felt like if it wasn't handed to them, they didn't want to struggle through it or think of creative ways. Like Julie said, we went out and bought 2 cars and started doing deliveries. Never 7 years ago would I thought I'd be delivering ice cream. That was just unheard of. So it's just, you got to be able to change direction quickly. And then I think the other thing, if you want to be an entrepreneur in the service business, your mindset has to be different. And what I mean by that is yes, we are in the ice cream business, but we're actually technically, I always tell everybody, we're in the people business. So we have 2 types of people. We have an internal and an external guest that we have to focus on every day. We have to focus on our team and making sure that they're happy and that they're engaged. And then we have to focus on the external guest as well too, that come in the shop every day and making sure that they feel welcomed as well too. But you have to be able to change on a dime. You can't just mope if things aren't going your way. And I think if you do that, and then you just, you know, they always say surround yourself with the best people, but, you know, I think, you know, that's easier said than done. I think you have to develop the best people. And, you know, you have to find that potential in each person that you spend the time to interview and bring on board your team. And you have to find out what their strengths are. And you have to really try to capitalize on those and make everybody feel valued. But yeah, it's a grind, and it's tough, and it's not going to be an 8-hour, 5-day-a-week business, Monday through Friday. It's, you know, you're constantly on. I mean, Julie's phone sometimes going off at 1 a.m, you know, with, you know, one of the kids that's got an issue about something, you know what I mean? So it's just, you're always on, and, you know, being able to handle that.
Right. And I think it's be prepared to learn. You know, you don't know everything. You're going to learn sometimes as you go, and it's okay to understand that you're not always going to be right about something. As long as you learn from it, you move on. You know, definitely your outlook on what you're striving for is going to be important, because you're going to have tons of people saying great job, and then there's going to be people that, you know, just say, hey, don't take that risk. Yeah, and I think it's important for you to realize, do what's going to make you happy, do what's going to help you get your goals, but learn from your mistakes. And it's okay, everybody makes mistakes. We've made many mistakes ourselves, including making really bad flavors. But you know, you move on, and sometimes, you know, someone tells you, hey, you know, like this flavor does not taste good, and we're like, okay, let's change this up. But again, that's, you live and learn.
So for the record, you guys probably know this, but my favorite flavor is Graham Central Station. So I'm assuming that's a very, very popular one. And usually when I come in, I get 2 different flavors, almost always Graham Central Station, but I like to try a new one all the time too. And, you know, a lot of your names are quirky. And so part of the fun is what is that? You know, finding out what is that made up of? And I think for a couple of years now, my network and I think that we should co-create with you a My Power of One or a Random Acts of Kindness flavor. And I think that's something that I'd like to see us do together. Random Acts of Kindness is kind of a fun name, you know, and I think we've talked about it before, and you know, decide what does that flavor entail, or what are the combinations of it. Something I would love to do with you. Either My Power of One or Random Acts of Kindness, one or the other. And maybe we can even connect it to giving back in some fashion, because that's kind of what the brand stands for. Another thing I want to do with both of you today is co-create a new My Power of One word together. I already have the word ice cream in the brand, as you can imagine. But as we're talking today, and if any thoughts or words come out, I would like to, in honor of our podcast today, put a new word into the brand specifically because of this podcast. And then one last thing I want to do together is co-create a random act of kindness that we can invite our audience who's going to listen to this to do. And, you know, it can be as broad or as narrow as we want it to be. With, you know, July 18th next week, National Ice Cream Day, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on, you know, the happiness of ice cream. So what do you guys think about what random act of kindness could we co-create today together?
I think, I don't know. Well, I mean, the only thing that really comes to mind is that, you know, I think sometimes, and we've seen this a lot during COVID, is that people would get, let's say, a pint or even a single dish, and then they would deliver it to, you know, like their elderly neighbor, or they delivered it to like a senior home, because, you know, everybody loves ice cream, you know, and sometimes they just, you know, an elderly neighbor might not have an opportunity to drive somewhere, but you know, it's you know, a little sweet gesture.
I like that.
Yeah.
My producer on this show is dairy free, and I know there's a number of people that are have problems with dairy, and you guys have a number of flavors that are non-dairy. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yeah, so it's taken us about 6 years now to really perfect, I would say, our dairy-free base. And I would say in the last year, we just nailed a plain vanilla dairy-free that I think people can't even really tell the difference between that and real ice cream. So it's been pretty remarkable. Now that we have that base, we can pretty much do any flavor of ice cream that we have now as a dairy-free option. So,
hey, Jay, come here. My husband just walked in. Come say hi to Kenneth and Julia. Obviously been in your store many, many times.
How's it going?
Oh, he can't hear. I've got earphones on. He said, how's it going? Oh. He's been out on the tractor, so it's pretty hot here. So.
Oh, right on.
So you've got the vanilla flavor that's dairy free. Is it called vanilla, or what have you named it?
Well, so it is a dairy-free vanilla, but for the most part, we've gone in directions where we've done a cookies and cream. which not only is dairy free, but it'll be a vegan option as well, because Oreos are vegan, which is pretty cool. But we've done a pistachio, we do a coffee, we've done a black cherry, we've done a key lime pie, so we do a chocolate. So we do a lot of different dairy-free options as well too, which people appreciate, because they're a cream-based versus being a sorbet, which is where most of the places you go are sorbet, or people will do like maybe like a coconut milk or something, but it's
Do they circulate in and out? Do you guys put them in the brand, take them back out, or how does that work?
So like all of our ice cream, we probably keep about 80% of the flavors all the time, and then we rotate out about 20%. So we'll rotate out about 10 or so flavors every month, and then out of those 10 flavors, a couple of those will be dairy-free options that will change up as well too. We've definitely seen that as a growing market. I don't from some of the trends that I've seen, it seems to be more of a Southern California trend right now than it does seem to be more of a national trend. And then we also offer some sugar-free options as well too. And in the past we probably weren't as creative as we should have been. And we've changed that up this year, and we've started to get more creative and more bold with our sugar-free flavors as well too. And I've actually been getting a huge response from people about those positive changes that we've been making in the sugar-free category as well too. So I mean, it's like we like to say, not only our ice cream, but our dairy-free vegan options as well too. It's not just ice cream, it's Cali Cream.
Do the two of you together decide on new flavors and sort of co-create those? Is it a two-person job, or like if somebody comes in and says, "Oh, I've got this idea for whatever," like me, how does that process go?
So it's a community thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we'll have people come to us with a flavor idea, and then we'll try to create it when we have time or when we think the season's right for it. And then sometimes we'll have organizations or groups kind of like the Power of One, and want to create something, and we'll go for it and give it a shot, and try to find a way to make that happen. I think a lot of times people will give us like a bunch of ideas, but we'll take the ideas and we'll try to figure out how to mesh them all together to give the person or the group what they're looking for, but at the same point in time making it so that it pleases, I guess, the palates of our community. So we've got a pretty good idea of what people like in our community and what they don't like, or what sells and doesn't sell. So we try to really do things that are new and creative with that. I mean, I guess one of the richest examples that we have, or one of the first examples, would be Swiss orange chip, which was back in the day of Swenson's, right? It was a huge flavor for them. I had a gentleman that kept coming to the shop when I was building it, talking about this Swiss orange chip, and he was an ice cream maker for Swenson's and blah, blah, blah. And we got open with all the craziness, and then one day I'm at Target with Julie, and we're always in the sweets aisles, like looking to see who's coming up with new ideas or new flavors or whatever. We grabbed one of those chocolate oranges on the counter, and we're like, "Oh, let's take this home." And we got it and we ate it, and we're like, "Oh, this would make a cool flavor." So we made a flavor that emulated the chocolate oranges at the holidays, and it turns out that ends up being Swiss orange chip. So we put it out, and now we have all these people that grew up on Swenson's, will come into the shop and always order Swiss orange chip. It's like a flavor we can never get rid of, just because it's got a following. And I mean, when we first had it, people would be eating it and they would literally be crying because they haven't had it in 20 years or whatever, since they went out of business. So
Memories of that.
Yeah. But we create them together.
Mhm.
Some have been mistakes. We found that if we do too much of one ingredient when we make Swiss orange chip, we make Tootsie Roll ice cream. So it's like just a little bit of a tweak, and even in an ingredient can change the flavor of the ice cream dramatically. So yeah, or I woke up one morning and I said, I just had a dream about lemon cake and blueberry sauce. And Julie's like, well, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I can't get it out of my taste buds. So I went to the shop the next day, or that day, and I made a lemon cake ice cream, and then we rippled in a blueberry sauce, and now it's it's a fan favorite. So it's, I don't know, it's just it's the
different.
whole world's an inspiration.
Yeah.
It's all of that. One of the things that the Wizard of One podcast stands for is kindness, because it's part of the brand. And I'd like each of you to tell me, what does kindness mean to you?
I'll start off. I seem to be doing all the I want to steal the microphone here, but
You're both doing great.
I guess this is kind of symbolic of our strengths of working together. Kindness to me is giving back, giving back to the community, helping out other people that are maybe less fortunate, giving people opportunities that maybe other people wouldn't give to them. So for me, I guess that's really what it's about. It's about having, I guess, a great product that we can do that with a lot. I do have a son with autism. A lot of times I'll see families come in with autistic children, and I just love to just, give them the ice cream and just tell them not to worry about it. You know what I mean? And that, and the people that are helping them get through, the day, or through the community, their help or their supporters. It's just, so for me, it's just I guess random acts of kindness, of just people smile and do stuff that people don't expect, and really just showing appreciation for what they do.
Yeah.
Julie, what about you?
I think kindness has a lot of meaning for different people. You could show kindness in just doing the little things, every day. Even, I think, even giving somebody a smile. I think one of the big things for us has always been, smile, you're an ice cream shop, and I don't know how many times I've got, looked up from whatever I was doing, just gave somebody a big smile, and then it made them smile, and I think that's just kind of something that I've always kind of learned. I've always learned that, I think sometimes, people might have hard days, and doing the little things are the ones that matter. You don't have to give in loads. It doesn't have to be monetary. It could be, hey, listening to somebody for the day, or, trying to figure out what went wrong. And it's just, it's all about what you can do for someone else. And it, like I said, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be something small, but it can make somebody's day.
So we've got just a couple of minutes to wrap up, and I want to kind of summarize a little bit. We talked about possibly taking a gift of ice cream to somebody as a random act of kindness, just sort of randomly, unexpected. We talked about the definition of kindness. Together, we're going to co-create an ice cream called Random Acts of Kindness, I think would be appropriate. And then, the word magic just keeps kind of coming up to me, and listening to you guys and hearing you talk about your experience and your relationship and what you do for the community. And I'm just going to lean into the word magic being the word that we co-create today, because ice cream is a magical experience. It kind of is. It takes us back to our childhood. And as you said, you've created ice cream cakes for 100-year-olds. So it's sort of a lifetime of pleasure. And then I'm just so appreciative of who you are, and knowing you, and being, in your sphere, in your network. People can reach out to you or know more about you on CaliCreamIceCream.com. Is that correct? And you're on all the social media platforms, I'm assuming, on Instagram and Facebook, and you post a lot of pictures and keep everybody updated. Next Monday, July 18th, which is when your podcast will go live, is National Ice Cream Day, and I'm going to certainly put the random act of kindness out there that people stop in wherever and grab some ice cream and take to a friend, and you know, spread the love around. And again, I just thank our guests today, Kenneth and Juliana, at Cali Cream, for visiting with me today and filling me in on a lot of details I didn't know before. I don't think there's anyone, honestly, on this earth that is more happy or proud of you than I am. I know
Aw.
that's a
Yeah.
big statement. It's a big
means a
statement,
lot.
but it's true. So
Thank
even
you
your
very
own mothers. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that's happier or more proud of you than I am. So
Thank you so much.
That means a
thanks
lot.
for your time. And before I start crying, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you next month. I'm going to be in town for the San Diego Film Awards the end of August, and
Awesome.
obviously I'll be in to see you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Well,
guys.
you
Have
as
a great
always.
day.
All
Bye.
right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.